Alright, had to let that keep playing. I was gonna get like copyright claimed on YouTube or something. Anyways, hello everyone, CMeeCraft here, and welcome to the stream. We're finishing off the week here with Fate Stay Night. Probably gonna be a slightly shorter stream than typical, but we'll have some fun with it regardless. Hope y'all are ready for a good time here. As for next week, I'm not sure if I mentioned this before, I think I probably have, but I'm in the process of moving in the next couple weeks, so as a result, stream schedules are getting a bit abridged, so next week we're only going to have 2 streams, Danganronpa 2, Wednesday at 10 p.m., and then MEO, The Smiling Man, Thursday at 10 p.m. So those are Eastern times, of course, and yeah, so keep that in mind. And then week after that, it's probably going to be either 1 or 0 streams, I imagine, because I've got a lot of stuff to get in order for this. But we'll have some fun regardless with while we're here together. So let's get into it, yeah? Alright. There we go. Alright, let's get started. Now, as I recall, we ended last time on quite a bit of a cliffhanger. A shadow looms. It's a strange shape that seems out of place in the darkened town. Berserker. I'm not familiar with the word Tosaka whispers. What, you don't know about berserkers? They're great. Wonderful warriors. I don't even need to ask. It's definitely a servant. It gives off an overwhelming aura of death that surpasses even the fire from 10 years ago. Wow. Quite a bit of scale. Good evening, brother. This is the second time we've met. Why you calling me brother? I ain't your bro. I don't think I am anyway. I don't know, I might be. The girl smiles. Her innocence sends a chill up my spine. No, the chill goes deeper than that. It's not just my body, even my mind freezes. That thing is a monster. I'm not even looking into its eyes, but its intimidating presence paralyzes me. My instincts tell me I'm dead the instant I move. It feels like someone is pressing a knife against my exposed stomach. Crap, he's definitely in a different league. While all I manage to do is stand there paralyzed, Tosaka is composed enough to brace herself. Even that seems futile. I can only see her back, but I still sense her despair. Huh? Oh, your servant's resting. That's no fun. I thought I would get rid of 2 at once. The young girl seems displeased as she stands at the top of the hill, looking down on us. This is even worse. That girl knows that Tosaka's servant is not here. And then the girl bows gracefully, which seems wildly out of place given the current mood. Very nice to meet you, Rin. My name is Ilya. Yeah, it's gotta be Ilya. Perhaps you might recognize the name Ilyasville von Einsburn better. Einsburn? Tosaka trembled slightly, seeming to recognize the name. The girl smiles, seemingly delighted by Tosaka's reaction. Then here we go. Heal them, Berserker! In a sing-song voice, the girl orders the monstrosity behind her. The giant jumps. In a single leap, this berserker sails all the way from the top of the hill to its bottom where we stand. Shiro, get back. Saber surges forward. Her raincoat flutters off her shoulders, blocking my view for a moment. Saber runs towards where Berserker is about to land. Berserker lands, kicking up a small torrent of air in his wake. The two meet almost simultaneously. But has Saber recovered from her skirmish earlier in the night? The very air shakes. Saber stops Berserker's rock-like sword with her invisible sword. Saber's mouth twists as she strains. And then Berserker's giant sword moves in a flash, creating a whirlwind. Thunder. The clash of swords almost tearing the air ends in Saber's defeat. No. I hear something skidding. Saber blocks Berserker's giant sword with her own, but the impact pushes her backwards. Saber buckles. The copper-skinned servant follows her. The monster swings its giant sword again and again, as if it knows how to do nothing else. Saber continues to block it with her sword, unable to dodge the strikes. Saber's sword being invisible doesn't matter. She needs to put all her strength into blocking his attacks or she's dead for sure. Saber's left with no choice but to remain on the defensive. The only chance Saber has of winning is to find an opportunity to strike between Berserker's attacks. And yet, that's only if Berserker leaves her an opening. His massive black rock sword moves like a raging storm. He is enormous. Despite his size and unwieldy weapon, Berserker is faster than Saber. His unrelenting attacks just smash whatever it is in his way. That's all. But it's enough to be effective. As long as he retains his overwhelming speed and power, he doesn't really need technique. Humans devise technique to compensate for their own weakness. This giant, that monster, he has no weakness. Run. It's the only thing I can manage to say. My body is completely frozen. That thing cannot be beaten. Saber's going to die. That's why she needs to run. It'd be easy if it was just her that needed to flee. Of course, she knows that perfectly well. Oh. That's not good. My body may be paralyzed, but my mind is still working. The raging storm of death simply won't let up. Saber retreats, unable to block it all. And then the final unblockable blow comes. Saber hangs in the air. Twisting her body impossibly, Saber manages to defend against Berserker's titanic swing. It's all she can do to defend herself from the fatal blow. But because she can't completely brace against the giant's tremendous swing, his attack sends her flying. After sailing in a wide arc, she falls to the ground. Just before her back hits the ground, Saber turns in midair and lands on her feet. She manages to compose herself, but crimson blood stains her chest. I'm such an idiot. I've completely forgotten something crucial. I don't know how many times servants can fight in a day, but this is Saber's third battle. On top of that, Saber still hasn't healed from the wound Lancer inflicted on her chest earlier. Saber shifts her guard to protect her chest. Berserker moves in like a violent wind, striking at Saber while she's hampered by her wound. His blows rain down on her back. Oh. What's going on, Rin? I don't know what kind of magecraft Tasaka used, but something burst against Berserker's body. From the amount of magical energy I can feel, the impact must have been equivalent to a large caliber pistol. Even that is meaningless. It barely even scratches him. He isn't nullifying magical energy like what Saber does. The attack just doesn't affect him. What? This guy's ridiculously durable. Despite that, Tasaka continues to cast her spell. Berserker just ignores Tasaka's spells and charges at Saber. Saber painfully lifts her head. She readies her sword, intent on continuing the fight. The sight of her in so much pain gets me moving again. No! Run, Saber! I yell with all my might. She hears me. But she braces herself to confront an enemy she can't possibly compete with. Don't make me use one of my little, like, marking things. Don't make me do it, Saber. Berserker's attacks are relentless. Saber weakens with every block. The end slowly creeps up on her. Yep, it's a fight. Exciting stuff for sure. Where in that small frame of hers does such power come from? Saber doesn't retreat. She endures the great sword's furious attacks and tries to push Berserker back with sheer vigor. She has no chance of winning. Even though she knows her demise is inevitable, she holds her ground adamantly. Maybe it sensed something from her. What? Unreadable. The monster, silent until now, suddenly roars. Oh my goodness. The whole world has been destroyed by him. Its attacks are impossible to block. Its attacks rain down on her, though her defense is flawless. With one strike finally sends her flying. It's the sound of something falling in the distance. Fresh blood stains her armor. Her small frame shouldn't be able to rise, and yet... Oh, that's a cool composition right there. Oh, and with the invisible sword too, the blood dripping down it. That's good. That's good. I kind of want to like a poster of this. No. She stands up without thinking. Her actions say that she needs to keep going, or else I'll be killed. Her actions. I realize I made a foolish decision. Berserker stops after defeating Saber. It doesn't so much as look at Tasaka or me. It just waits for its master's orders. You can't win. My Berserker is the greatest hero of Greece. And there's a lot to choose from. I mean, it could be Hercules. That's probably the obvious choice. Heracles, my apologies. Heracles. Hercules, I believe, is the Roman name. You got Achilles as an option. I don't think I would peg Odysseus as a Berserker, because he's more of like a clever sort of trickster character in the Odyssey. So yeah, I'm probably Heracles, possibly Achilles. Aren't we thinking Achilles as the Lancer? Maybe. That was probably one of my theories. Yeah, Heracles actually probably makes the most sense, because, yeah, Achilles probably would be more fit for Lancer, because that's more what he would have, I believe, to be armed with. What? The greatest hero of Greece? Don't tell me he's... He's gonna end up being something random like, oh, it's Perseus. or something. That's right. That demon before you is Heracles. That's a good pull. That's a good pull, I will say. 5 stars. He's the most atrocious monster ever. He's on a different level than any of the heroes you two could summon and handle. The girl calling herself Ilya narrows her eyes in joy. Wait a minute, hold on. Have we not been hammering into us this whole time that keeping your servant's identity a secret is like really important? What did Heracles get killed in mythology? And if so, how'd that happen? Because if we got to figure that out. Her eyes express elation from the anticipation of finishing off her enemies. Because there's no need to ask who she's expecting to kill. Saber. Then what will I do? Am I going to fight that monster instead? I can't do that. Just getting near that thing without being prepared would be enough to stop my heart. I'm going to... I'll take Tosaka and run, or I'll help Saber. I mean... This is actually kind of a tough choice. Like, what can I actually do to help Saber? Like, I'm just gonna die if I help Saber. Probably. Though for all I know, maybe Saber was, anticipating that I'd, like, run, and she was trying to buy me time to run. I don't know. We really need to be better at communicating with one another. As like, communication is key to a good working relationship. But if we abandon Saber, if Saber dies, then I don't have a chance here regardless. For the rest of this. Right? I think we gotta help Saber. I'll regret it deeply if I don't help her and she dies, so... Here we go! This is probably a really dumb choice, but, well, let's go. I refuse to abandon someone when they're down. That's how I've always lived my life. And most importantly, I can't leave the girl who fought so hard to protect me. Okay, Berserker, she's going to regenerate, so take her out now. Berserker rumbles back into movement. Who are you? I run forward as fast as I can. I can't possibly do anything against that monster. But the least I can do is to get Saber out of the way and save her from Berserker's attack. Well, I mean, that's... I guess, what did I think would happen? Well, maybe not my wisest choice. I fall. Why? I was going to shove Saber away from Berserker. Then I'd figure out what to do afterwards, so why? Am I just straight up dead? Why? Hello. Well, welcome to the stream. You're just in time to watch me die. Why am I on the ground, unable to breathe? I hear surprised voices. What's the surprise about, guys? Did it seem like there was any other plausible outcome that would occur from me rushing in there? This is honestly probably what should have been expected. First is Saber, who's in front of me now. Then there's Tosaka standing at a distance looking aghast. Maybe they're just so shocked that I was that stupid to think I could fight Heracles. And then for some reason, the girl calling herself Ilya stares down at me, dumbfounded. There's a gaping, ragged hole in the middle of my body. I'm on the ground. On the asphalt. There's only a little blood, considering how big the wound is. I see some withered, branch-looking things and some shattered stuff. And man, that looks painful. All those parts scattered around. I get it. How dumb am I? So I didn't make it. I could never push Saber away. So I was just her shield. And then that ungodly huge machete thing took a good chunk out of my stomach. Ugh. I can't believe I failed at a time like this. I tried my best to be a hero of justice, but I screwed it all up when it really mattered. Shiro being Shiro? Apparently, yeah. Guess so. Why? The silver-haired girl's face is blank as she speaks. After standing there dumbfounded, she just says, I've had enough. This is boring. This is not boring. This is the end of my life. She calls Berserker back without finishing Saber off. Rin, I'll kill you next time we meet. Even Ilya is shocked, yeah? Yeah. Guess that's just how reckless I'm being. The girl leaves. After she disappears, I completely black out. Well, I mean, I saved Saber, so I guess mission accomplished. Or mission failed successfully, I suppose. Ouch. I lose consciousness. I'm really dead this time. I somehow survived when Lancer killed me last time, but my luck's definitely run out. There's no MeeCraft that could save a person who just lost half his body. What were you thinking? Don't you know I can't save you anymore? I hear a voice reprimanding me. It must be Tasaka. She sounds like she's really mad, and I feel bad. But I had no choice. I'm not good at everything like her. All I have to work with is my body. That's why. The only thing I could do was to risk it all, using my own body. Save the game? Why would I save it here? Aren't I just dead? Sure, I'll save, but I'll definitely make sure to not overwrite. That's for certain. New save data created. Great. February 3rd. Fate for partner. Winter, 5 years ago. It was a beautiful moonlit night. I was just enjoying the sight with my father, Karatsugu, and Mia. It was winter, but it wasn't very cold. On the veranda, it was just a little chilly. The perfect weather to watch the moon. Oh, and this is good music. Very nice. Karatsugu didn't go outside much anymore. He rarely went out, and he spent most of his time lounging around the house. Every time I recall this, I still feel regret. Why didn't I realize that he was acting the way any creature does when they know their time is almost up. When I was a boy, I wanted to be a champion of justice. He blurted it out, just out of nowhere. My father, who already seemed like a champion of justice in my eyes, said that as if he were reflecting on a memory. What, you wanted to? So you gave up on it? I asked, unable to completely hide my disappointment. Kiritsugu smiled apologetically and looked up at the distant moon. Unfortunately, yes. You can only be a hero for so long. It gets harder to call yourself one as you grow up. I wish I'd found that out earlier. That made sense to me. I wasn't sure why, but if Kiritsugu said it, then it had to be true. Oh well, that's too bad. Yes, it really is too bad. Kiritsugu nodded in agreement. So I just kind of blurted something out as if it were a natural thing to say. Okay, if you can't do it, then I'll do it for you. You can't do anything because you're an adult, but I can. You can leave your dream to me. Because I'll make it a reality. The bold promise made my father smile. His face said everything I needed to know. Kiritsugu made a long, contented sigh and whispered, "Ah, that's a relief." There, he closed his eyes, and so too his life came to a close. He looked so peaceful, like he was just going to wake up in the morning, so I didn't think much about it. Maybe it was because by then I was used to seeing death. On a winter night, the man I called my father looked up at the moon and entered a long sleep. The yard was dead silent, not so much as a single chirp from an insect. I still remember how fiercely my eyes blazed on that bright, clear night. I didn't cry aloud, nor did I feel sad. But tears flowed down my cheek until the moon sank past the horizon. This happened in the winter, 5 years ago. I probably cried 10 years worth of tears in that time. So after that, there was nothing left. Fujini's dad took care of the funeral arrangements, and that's how I ended up living in the Amiya mansion, all alone. Kiritsugu's passing didn't change anything for me. I was set on becoming a man who champions justice and does what's right, just like my father. So I didn't have time to sit around. That's right. I never talk about this, but I still remember it. 10 years ago, a man saved me from fire. He picked up a burned, dying child and carried him out of hell, weeping with joy. I've admired him ever since. Nobody saved me. I couldn't save anyone. In the ruins of the fire, there was only a boy who was saved, and the man who saved him. That's why I aspired to be like him. I wanted to become a hero of justice that saves people and doesn't let anyone die. That's who he wanted to be, and he passed his wish on to me before quietly letting the curtain fall. It's only natural for a child to follow in their father's footsteps. Shiro Amiya must become a hero of justice and save someone the same way that he was once saved. I swore to myself that I would do it. I vowed to fulfill the dream of the man I most admired. But honestly, I didn't know how. What did Kiritsugu mean by doing the right thing and championing justice? How can I grow up faster? Is there some magical way to make Kiritsuga's dream of making everyone happy come true? Seriously, what am I supposed to do when I become a master? And I can't get the blonde girl with me out of my head. All Might? I've not watched that anime, so I'm not really seeing the parallels. Am I not dead? I wake up in my room. Something tastes terrible. The steely tang of blood clouds my mouth. It pooled in my mouth while I slept, and every time I breathed, heavy metallic air filled my lungs. I'm not sure why I feel this way. The violent urge to vomit makes me want to go wash my face in the restroom. Okay. I lift myself out of bed. That may not have been a good idea. Dizziness sets my head spinning. You know when you stand up too fast? Yeah. Feeling uneasy on my feet, I plant a hand on the wall. Ugh. I try to move, but it only makes the nausea worse. Now it's more pain than nausea. My body feels sluggish, and my insides seem to churn whenever I move. Imagine this is about what it'd feel like if someone forced hot lead down my throat. Ugh. Imagining that is making me feel like I'm going to run a fever. I wipe the sweat from my forehead and hobble out of my room, leaning against the wall. Okay. I feel a little better. I wash my face and dry off my sweat-drenched body. Huh? For some reason, my abdomen is wrapped in bandages. What do you mean, for some reason? I have no idea why, but I'll deal with that later. I'm hungry. Did I leave any extra food in the fridge? My stomach still feels like it's churning, but my body needs nourishment. I suck up the discomfort and keep walking, braced against the wall. The dizziness won't go away, and worst of all, my whole body feels dull. Ow, ow, ow. I keep moving forward, making pathetic noises along the way. What the hell did I do before I went to bed last night? I don't remember training strenuously enough to make my entire body ache. I reach the living room. Sakura and Fujini must be at school. There's no signs of breakfast, nor do I see any remnants of Fujini wrecking the place. The living room's quiet, like a typical Sunday. Morning. Sorry I came in without asking, Amiya. Oh, hey, Rin. Hey, Rin, what? Or not? What? Rin Tasaka is sitting on the floor by the table in the living room. She's so calm, like she owns the place. So much so that I feel like the guest in the house here. I have no idea what to say, so I plop down on a cushion. And then I take a deep breath. Tasaka, why are you... Stop, shouldn't you apologize to me first? I can't move on from last night until you say sorry for what you did. Why do I need to apologize to you? We're in the house, invader, indeed. I can't even finish asking why she's in my house. Tasaka's glare is all I need to know how angry she is. She seems upset about something that happened last night, but what exactly? Oh, no, did I get, like, drunk or something? I'm sorry if that's the case. Oh, yeah. Wait. I remember now. Right, this isn't the time for me to be leisurely breathing in the morning air. I tried to help Saber, and Berserker gutted me like a fish. Ugh. The nausea returns. A chill grips my entire body as I remember the feeling of having a gaping hole in my body. Wait, that's weird. I should have died instantly. That's weird. Why am I still here? Do you remember now? You did something damn stupid last night. Hope you regret it. Tosaka huffs critically. That kinda ticks me off. My brain frozen since seeing Tosaka in my living room finally grinds into action. What are you talking about? I had no choice. Well, sure, it might seem like an idiotic move if you just look at the results. And I definitely meant for it to go better than it did. So I wouldn't say it was a mistake. I returned her glare, insisting that I'm not an idiot. What? Why is she making such a show of sighing at me? If the master dies, the servant disappears too, remember? Can't believe you actually tried to shield your own servants. Listen, if you die, then Saber's gone too. If you wanted to save Saber, you should have thought of another way to do it, from a safe distance. Honestly, do you realize how pointless it is to risk your own life for your servants? I wasn't shielding her. I was just trying to get her out of there. I didn't think that would happen to me. I know I might die if I got near a monster like that, but that's beside the point. Fine, then you had the wrong idea. Tosaka only looks more irritated, like she knows exactly what I'm thinking. I'll be straight with you, Mia. I didn't take you to the church so that you could win. I was just trying to give you a chance to survive because you literally don't know anything. It sounds like you still don't get it. Do you wonder how much the choice back there changed, if anything? I don't know. It's always hard to tell on a first playthrough. A chance to survive? Yeah, I figured you wouldn't take risks or really do much if you knew defeat meant death. But it looks like you're the kind of person to walk out at night even in a situation like this. She knows me so well. Yeah. And I guess one thing to consider too is, visual novels can often have different structures and how choices affect things, right? So what I'm getting at is sometimes it's like there is a choice, and that choice is, will we go down path A or path B? Whereas other times it's more of there's a collection of choices, and like added together, the results of all of them kind of combine to, are we going down path A or path B? So, not sure what situation we're dealing with here. I thought if I scared you straight, you wouldn't throw your own life away for someone else. And if you're lucky, you'd make it until the end. I see. That, didn't cross my mind. But why are you upset? What does me dying have to do with you? Yeah, if anything makes your life easier, doesn't it? It has everything to do with me, because you made me worry all night long. Oh, she is upset. Tosaka's practically throwing a tantrum. But, okay. It actually feels good to have someone worry about me. From her tone, it sounds like Tosaka was the one who took care of me. Rin should ask if Shiro does not think of Saber as a person. Should I not think of Saber as a person? I don't know. She seems pretty person-like to me. Yeah, from her tone, it sounds like Tosaka was the one who took care of me. Is that so? Guess I owe you one, Tosaka. Thanks. I bow my head in appreciation and apology. As long as you understand if you've learned your lesson, then use your head next time. Tosaka quickly turns away. She might still be edgy, but I feel like she's in a better mood. We're done with what happened last night. Well, I mean, I'd be curious to learn about the specific, like, manner in which I didn't die. Let's get down to it then. Do you want to talk business or talk about yesterday? Just like a promise to be matter-of-factly. Your straightforwardness takes me off guard, but now that I think about it, she must be here only because she has something to discuss. If she hadn't had something to discuss, she'd have gone home already. Dosaka's my enemy, so what could she have to talk about that would prompt her to stay in enemy territory? I'm curious to know what she's thinking, and I also want to know what else happened last night. I have to ask anyway, so... let's talk about yesterday. Let's start with the serious stuff, or I have a bad feeling I don't want to hear either of them. Let's start with yesterday. Because I'm still not entirely clear how I survived. There's no point in talking until I understand my own situation. I'll need to understand where I am before I try to get where I'm going. That's the basics for a journey. Let's start with what happened last night. Yeah, you should know what's going on first. Hey, looks like you're finally thinking straight. We'll see. We'll see. With a smug grin, Tosaka launches into a brief explanation of last night's events. Apparently, Berserker left right after I lost consciousness. Afterwards, my body started to heal on its own, and was back to normal after a few minutes. What? Subconscious healing magic, maybe? I was still unconscious, so Tosaka brought me here, and the rest was as I remember it. What's important here is that you managed to survive on your own. I might have helped a bit, but it was your power that healed your wound, so don't get that twisted, okay? Okay. Interesting. That's what it sounds like from the way you told it. So you aren't the one who healed me? No way. I can't revive someone on the verge of death. What was I supposed to do about your intestines scattered on the pavement? I don't really have an answer to that. My stomach's back to normal, yes, but I'm honestly still dubious about what Tosaka said. I can't even use any healing magecraft, much less raise the dead. Which means it must be your servant. Oh, could be. Speaking of which, where is Saber? Either your servant's pretty powerful, or something happened when you summoned them. I think it's both, actually, but you must be connected by some line? Line? You mean like some sort of fated line that connects a familiar and its mage? Oh, so you do have some knowledge of familiars. Then that should be easy. It means your relationship with Saber is not just an ordinary master and familiar relationship. Saber can evidently regenerate too, so her power might be flowing into you. Well, that's good, I guess. Normally the mage's abilities are shared with the familiar, but in your case, the familiar's abilities are helping the master. Curious. So it's like a river flowing upstream. That's a good way of putting it. Normally that wouldn't be possible, but Saber's magical energy must be powerful enough to change the flow of a river. Otherwise there's no chance she'd be able to go up against Berserker with that tiny frame of hers. I suppose. It wouldn't normally be possible. Does that mean your relationship with Archer is a normal mage and familiar relationship? That's right. He doesn't listen to a word I say, but that's our relationship. The connection between master and servant is like gas and an engine. We provide the energy for them to consume. Though I've read that a master once acquired a pseudo-immortality by physically fusing with their servant. They won't die as long as their servant doesn't die. Are you listening, Amiya? Yeah, I mean, I don't necessarily need to go the whole immortality route. That's typically fool's gold, I'd say, but... yeah, I am. Then, Tasaka, does that mean my body will heal from injuries even if I don't do anything about them? At the cost of your servant's magical energy. I don't know how it works, but it definitely has something to do with Saber being stuck in material form. I don't think you've learned any curses of natural regeneration. Of course not. The old man never taught me something that complicated. That's not what I mean. I'm saying I wouldn't have had to worry this much if it was true. Never mind, this doesn't concern you. Huh? What does she mean? I don't know why Tasaka's being so roundabout. Anyway, just don't do anything rash. You might have survived this time, but you might not live to tell the tale next time you get hurt like last night. It's probably best you ditch the notion that any small wounds will heal on their own. I know, Saber had to help me because I went and got myself hurt. I don't have any excuses for that. That's not the point, dummy. Let me be clear. It costs more than Saber's magical energy to heal your wounds. You're giving something up when it happens. Like what? Like my spirit? Whether that's your life, your luck, or even your bank account, you can bet that kind of healing doesn't come cheap. Wait, can magic in this universe make withdrawals from my bank account? As the price? That's terrifying. Now that's late stage capitalism if I've ever seen it. Tasaka huffs once again. And I agree, but... Tasaka, I don't think my bank account has anything to do with it. Of course it does! Using MageCraft means you're pretty much throwing your money away. The more you use it, the more it drains your money. Huh? Wait, does it actually? Otherwise, none of this would be acceptable, especially to me. Oh. Tasaka absolutely explodes with fury. It's odd, really. The more I talk to her, the more this Tasaka feels like the real one, while the girl at school feels like an act. Well, I guess I already noticed that yesterday. Well, putting the topic of money aside, I want to talk about something serious. Are you ready, Emiya? It's the main reason you're here, isn't it? Let's hear it. 2-hour-long battle, that doesn't sound great. I'll be frank. What do you plan to do next? Tasaka asks the one question I hoped she wouldn't. Actually, that's not entirely true. It's not that I don't want her to ask, so much as I haven't really thought of my answer yet. What am I going to do now? It's the question I want to ask. To be honest, I don't know. I know there's a competition for the Holy Grail, but I've never been in a battle between mages. For one thing, more than anything, I want to avoid killing. I'm not interested in something like the Holy Grail. I don't really know if I can risk my life for something I don't want. I knew you'd say something like that. How do you know that your servant will kill you for saying that sort of thing? What? But Saber's such a nice girl. She... What? Kill me? Why? Because the servants also seek the Holy Grail. One of the conditions for them allowing a master to summon them is getting a chance at the Holy Grail. Oh, that makes a lot of sense. She connects MageCraft with money because she uses the jewel magic. Gotcha. The Grail is the servant's #1 priority. They'll obey the master if it gives them a chance at the Grail, and sometimes they'll even die for their masters. Try saying you don't want the Grail to your servants. You can't blame her if she calls you a traitor and cuts you down where you stand. What the hell? That doesn't sound right. Servants are the ones who were summoned by the masters, right? Well, summoned with the specific understanding that we're going after the Grail. Right? Like, you can't... It's sort of like if I apply for a job, say I apply for, I don't know, we'll say a data entry job at a company, and then I show up and they're like, yeah, so about the whole data entry thing, we're not doing that. Actually, we just needed another garbage man to drive around and pick up trash from the suburbs, so you're doing that now. I think in that case you'd be justified to cut down your boss, or no, not to quit on the spot. That would be a breach of contract, I'd say. Or at the very least, not fair dealing. Then, do you think servants would really serve humans for free? Well, whoever acquires the Grail gets their wish granted, whether that's a master or their guardian servant. Huh? Huh. So it's an either-or sort of situation? What determines who's the one who gets the wish? Because ostensibly you're on the same team, right? The servants have wishes of their own. That's why they respond to summons that would otherwise be, at best, unreasonable. Masters don't summon servants to help them get the Holy Grail. Servants answer the Master's call to have a chance at the Holy Grail. The servants have wishes too. Now what could like a spirit want? Does that mean Saber also has a wish she wants granted by the Holy Grail? That's why servants will go out and eliminate other masters even without being ordered to. Only one person can get the Holy Grail. They won't allow it to fall into the hands of anyone other than their own master. I hadn't considered this angle before. Unlike masters, servants don't have the power to take away command spells. The only way they can neutralize other masters is by killing them. So even if the master has no intention of fighting, conflict is inevitable. Masters attacked by a servant need to fight them off with their own servant. Kirei told you plenty of times about how that is at the heart of the Holy Grail War. Yeah, he told me enough of that last night. But that means the servants must fight and kill each other. I thought it would have been enough as long as the masters made peace with each other and gave up the Holy Grail, but if servants answer the summons because they also seek the Holy Grail and will never give up until they have it, then battles between servants really are inevitable. Take away command spells? I'm not sure if we've gone over the ability to actually like take away command spells, but certainly you could like force someone's hand to where they have to use a command, so I think that might be what she's getting at. But then, and if you run out of command spells, then you basically, I think that severs your relationship with the servant, I believe, if I remember correctly. Which is how you can then have free agent servants in theory. Is the girl who fought so hard to protect me also here to fight, kill for, and maybe die? All for the Holy Grail? That's awful. I don't know exactly what a heroic spirit is, but Saber's human. I even saw her bleed yesterday. Oh, don't worry about that. Servants aren't mortal, so if they die, they'll just go back to where they came from. Heroic spirits are phenomena that can't die. Only masters can actually get killed when they lose a fight. No, I mean, even if their deaths are figurative, it doesn't change the fact that something which takes the form of a human dies in this world. What, do you have some hang up with killing? You've got some nerve calling yourself a mage with morals like that. What, morals? I'm being chastised for having morals now. What does this world come to? Tasaka's right. And she's right, apparently. As a mage, death is never far. I understand that fact, and I've long since resigned myself to it. But I'm not strong enough to be the judge of when and where other people should live or die. Of course I do. I won't be party to some war where people murder each other. Oh, really? So you're just going to sit and wait to be killed? You're going to just hand the victory to some other master? That's not my point. All I have to do is stay alive until the end, right? I don't intend to kill anyone, but I'm also not going to hold back if I needed to defend myself. Someone who shows up ready to kill others can't complain about getting killed. So you're going to play defense. He's going to watch and see what the other masters do? Even if that thing from yesterday goes around killing everyone in town, you'll just ignore it? Would they really go bad with that sort of collateral damage? The thing from yesterday. That twisted inhuman demon. It's strong enough to level a house with a single blow. If it set its mind to it, I'm sure it could destroy all of Miyama overnight. To make matters worse, servants can turn into spirit form. Humans who lack the ability to sense the supernatural can't even see them. But as soon as servants materialize, they can interact with the physical world. You could say they're the ultimate weapons. No modern technology or weaponry can affect a spiritual form. Our attacks don't work on them, but they can hurt us. It's a depressingly one-sided arrangement. From a normal person's point of view, servants may as well be natural disasters. When people die to an invisible killer, those deaths will just be treated as accidents or natural causes. What do you mean? Don't servants... I mean, don't masters and servants only attack other masters? What do the people in town have to do with it? If only the world were so peaceful. If that were the case, then we wouldn't need Kirei to play referee. I should have mentioned this sooner, but servants are spirits. Their forms are complete, static, so they do not grow. They still need magical energy as fuel. When they are provided with more magical energy, they are able to use more of their special abilities they had while they were alive. That's not unlike us mages, actually. Do you see what I'm getting at? Yeah, it's like repeatedly using MageCraft. Magical energy is like gunpowder. The mage is the gun itself. Like how there are different guns, pistols, rifles, shotguns. Mages all have a variety of abilities. To continue the metaphor, servants are more like artillery cannons than firearms. They burn a huge amount of gunpowder to launch massive shells. That's right, but servants can't draw mana from the atmosphere like us. They generally run only on the magical energy within them. It's our job as masters to supplement that energy. Their power is limited by their own energy supply, plus whatever their masters give them. That means a half-baked master like you has no chance against a more capable master, right? I mean, yeah, there's always strategy, tactics. One very obvious solution to that hurdle is to have your servant acquire magic energy from other sources. Servants are spirits, so they can eat similar stuff for sustenance. Eating something similar. You mean other spiritual bodies? But what kind of spirits would they eat? Simple. Spirits of nature can take in power from nature itself. So do you think servants who are human spirits get power from? Oh. It really is an easy question. Just as we eat meat, human spirits like servants have to eat. Correct? To be fair, the magic energy supply from masters chosen by the Holy Grail should be enough in most cases. But shouldn't it be obvious that they'd gain more energy by getting it from more than one person. Bluntly speaking, inferior masters have to feed other people to their servants. Servants can convert souls and primal human emotions into magical energy. If your servant to get stronger, that's the most efficient way. It's not rare for masters to sacrifice humans to their servants. Sacrifice? Are you saying there might be masters out there who go around killing people to make their servants stronger? They're not choosy about their methods? Maybe, but I can't see a smart master doing something like that. No matter how strong a servant is, they're still limited by energy capacity. They can't store any energy above a hard limit, so there's only so much they can benefit from mass murder. That's quite a quote out of context. There's only so much they can benefit from mass murder. For one thing, the assassination won't just turn a blind eye to someone going around murdering people. But more importantly, the other masters will be able to figure out the servant's abilities and identity based on the victim's cause of death. That, and they'll work out the other master's identity too. Concealing your identity in a Holy Grail war gives you a big advantage, so any normal master would be unwilling to use their servants. I get it. If you don't let anyone know you're a master, then the other masters won't attack you. Conversely, if the other masters know who you are, you're just asking to be ambushed. It stands to reason that no one would be reckless enough to let their servant attack civilians and risk getting exposed. Well, that's a relief. As long as Master doesn't order it, servants shouldn't indiscriminately attack people. Probably not. They're supposed to be heroes after all. I don't think there are any heroes who'd attack innocent people. Though I can't say that for sure. Plenty of them became heroes through sheer violence. So I could just casually raise the truly terrifying point. That she sounds genuine about it rather than sarcastic or ironic might be a reflection of her twisted nature. We're getting off topic, so what's next for you? You claim you won't kill people, so are you just going to stand by and watch the other masters do God knows what? I take it back. She's not only twisted, she's a jerk who's going out of her way to drive me into a corner, all with a smile. If it comes to that, I'll go in to stop them. The master won't have much to do as long as their servant has been defeated, right? Unbelievable. So you're not going to try to defeat any of the other masters unless they intend to do bad things? I thought you wanted me to, like, try to not get involved and just sort of survive. Now you're trying to goad me into, you know, going on offense? Go on, Rin. Do you even hear yourself? Yeah, I know, they're just pretty words. But I can't think of anything else. I'm not changing my principles, no matter what you say. There's just one problem. Should I spell it out for you? I can see the gears turning in her head. She's up to something. But I promised to listen, so I need to hear her out. Yeah. Do you remember the master from yesterday? The little girl who just casually ordered her servant to kill us both? Yeah. How can I forget? She attacked us on her way home without any warning. She is definitely going to come back and kill us. I'm sure even you've worked that out. Ow. Right. That girl's a master too. She knows that Tasaka and I are both masters, so she's bound to come after us eventually. It could be today or tomorrow, but we've already signed our death warrants. I have no chance of stopping that monster. Her servant Berserker is on a whole nother level. As inexperienced of a master as you are, you're no match for that thing. And even saying you're going to protect yourself by doing nothing? You are not going to be able to defend yourself. Look who's talking. You have no chance against that thing either. Not a straight up fight. That's all been close quarters servants. There probably isn't anyone who can match it, even among all the heroes of myth and legend. If Berserker attacks me, there's no escape. That goes for me too. I'm pretty sure I won't survive the next round with that thing. My hand moves unconsciously to my stomach. The wound is closed. It's probably not even fair to call this a wound. It's the spot where a gigantic sword nearly killed me instantly. I can't shake off the sudden waves of nausea that wells up in me when I imagine the next time I might get a taste of that blade. There you have it. Do you get that just sitting around doing nothing and waiting for the Holy Grail War to end isn't an option? Yeah, I know that now. But Tasaka, I'm not sure what your point is. I'm sure you're not here just to make fun of my inevitable doom, are you? What kind of sadist do you take me for? After everything I said, you still can't take a hint? I'm asking if you want to team up. Yeah, no, that wasn't clear at all, actually, so... I mean, I guess it could be implied somewhat by the fact that you aren't just killing me right now, which you very well could do, but, yeah. Huh, what now? Huh, what? If I take those words at face value, that means... you want to team up with me, Tasaka. Yeah, my arch is still recovering from a serious wound. That's going to take some time. But in the meantime, I'm not completely out of the fights. And while your servant is superb, her master is dragging her down, making her half as effective, see? Put the two of us together, and you've got a hole. Hey, I'm not that bad of a mage. I count 3 times in which you almost died. You're the first person I know who's had that happen in a single day. A single day? I mean... but... I'll make it worth your while. I'll let you off for getting Archer hurt, and teach you what you need to know to be a master. Oh, and if we have time, I can even give you some pointers on your MageCraft. Deal? It seems... this is a pretty good deal. Too good, almost. It is an attractive proposition. I know next to nothing, and Tasaka does seem knowledgeable. And I'd like to avoid fighting her, if I can. Emiya, I'm waiting for your answer. She urges me to make a choice. Well, don't just straight up tell me what choice to make, chat. Jeez. Anyways, so... urges to take a choice. I mean... like, we're already basically a team regardless. So... like, it makes sense, I'd say. Like, it's almost a suspiciously good deal, but if she had any ill will towards me, I'd already be dead, so yeah, let's team up, sure. Besides, I don't have much choice. There's too much I don't know, and I have no experience as a mage. If Tasaka's offering to help me, however temporary, it's an offer I can't turn down. Alright, I'll take your offer, Tasaka. Honestly, I'd really appreciate your help. And that settles it. Let's shake on it. We're allies until we defeat Berserker. Oh, right. Yeah, I guess that should be the arrangement. I guess I don't have control over the timing, but He'll probably help to know the timeline. I shake the offered hand. I'm a little perplexed. Tosaka's hand is so soft. It reminds me she's a girl. My hand, in comparison, is covered with scratches, and it seems a poor match for hers. When I think that, I find myself getting embarrassed. I quickly pull my hand back. What's wrong? Are you changing your mind about working with me? No, I'm just hopelessly awkward. It's not that. I really appreciate that I'm going to be able to work with you. That is more a personal thing, so don't worry about it. Tosaka looks at me strangely. Oh. Her face turns mischievous. Tosaka, don't you get any ideas? What? I might dissolve our agreement if you say something stupid. I'm serious, I really will. Was that the first time you held a girl's hand? If it were, why would that matter? I thought you had a lot of friends. I didn't realize you were so shy, Shiro. Wrong, that's not true. There's no way in hell I could say I got embarrassed because it was her. And yeah, fine, I haven't really touched a girl so intimately before, but, and no, Fujini doesn't count. She's more like something from a different planet than someone of a different gender. Hey, hold on. What did Tosaka just say? You really do? You wear your feelings on your sleeve. Fine, I'll let it go. I wouldn't want you sulking if I pushed your buttons too much. And here's my deposit. Consider it a proof of my alliance with you. I don't know where she'd been keeping it, but she tugs out a giant book and slaps it on the table. It looks like a diary. There's no title, and the cover is wine red. It seems to be Tosaka's trademark color. This was my father's, but I don't need it anymore, so I'll give it to you. It's not the kind of thing a full-fledged master needs, but I figure you might benefit from it. Tosaka gestures for me to flip through it. Okay. Thanks. I open to a random page. And then there's nothing written on the pages, but a strange image suddenly pops into my head. What's this? I unlock the status menu? Huh? Huh. Just like what is this? It's a chart that records each servant's abilities. Yeah, there are certain rules in a Holy Grail War, right? That applies to servants, too. First of all, only 7 rogue spirits get summoned. 7 can only be summoned after they are assigned to one of their predetermined classes the Holy Grail has prepared in advance. Instead of summoning the heroic spirits themselves, the Holy Grail creates a vessel close to each heroic spirit, and then summons the spirit into it. You know how seances and mediums work by calling on the spirit and drawing them into the caster's body so the spirit can communicate, right? It's like that. In order to summon spirits from different ages, you need a sort of container. Classes. Oh, so that's why Saber is called Saber. Exactly. Remember that heroic spirits need to conceal their identities. That's why you never say the real name. So their summoned class then serves as their name. The classes are Saber, Lancer, Archer, Rider, Caster, Assassin, ooh, that's scary, and Berserker, a total 7. The class lineup may differ depending on the Holy Grail War, but we have a classic lineup in this war. The common belief is that Saber is the most powerful. Each class has its own unique characteristics, but each servant's abilities differ according to the summoned heroic spirit's rank, so be mindful of that. heroic spirit's rank? You mean how strong they were in life? That's part of it, but their abilities are also dependent on their notability. What they did or what kind of weapon they wielded may not change, but their basic abilities will change depending on how famous they were in their time. Okay. Heroic spirits are gods, so they become more powerful the more people worship them. I guess you could say their essence becomes more potent. It's similar to divine spirits, falling in rank to elementals if they lose devout followers. Similarly, a hero forgotten by the people doesn't have much power. While a hero who is powerful to begin with should retain at least some power and abilities, whether they were unknown or forgotten. Then if the hero is well known and the legend was extraordinary, they'd be a rank A servant, yeah. And that's why Berserker might be one of the strongest ever. He's the most famous hero from Greek mythology. Heroes from the Age of Gods already have special noble phantasms to begin with. There's not much we can do if the heroes themselves are strong. There's like a... What the heck's a noble phantasm? A noble phantasm is a servant's iconic item, which they used during their lifetime. Heroes and magical swords, or sacred swords, come as the set, right? It's basically their armament. Huh, weapon. Like Saber's invisible sword? Something like that. I don't know what the story with that sword is, but whatever Saber's wielding is definitely her noble phantasm. I guess, is it invisible by nature, or is she like specifically concealing it to help hide her identity? I don't think I need to even say this, but heroes can't remain in their legend with just their name alone. Each hero has a weapon that is sort of their trademark, and that is the crystallization of the people's desire for a miracle, their noble phantasm. So it's a powerful magical item. Exactly, simply put, heroic spirits are no match for powerful magecraft or mystics. But when their noble phantasms come into play, it's a whole different story. Heroic spirits who wield noble phantasms can defeat even elementals several ranks higher than them. This is because most are sacred or magical swords that appear in legend, and they're close to the level of magic. Swords that can kill dragons, the most powerful species of phantasmals. Shoes that allow the wearer to travel thousands of miles, or even magical swords that can kill deities. Whatever they may be, now you understand that the armaments heroic spirits wield are on an entirely different level, so much so that you might wonder why they aren't invincible. It's no exaggeration to say that battles between servants are ultimately battles between their noble phantasms. So what you're saying is that these servants, who are heroic spirits, will most definitely have at least one noble phantasm. Yes, and as a general rule, one heroic spirit can only wield one noble phantasm. They're usually swords or spears. Have you ever heard of the legendary Chinese sword, the Hazaken, the mountain-cutting sword? You can only swing it once, but it's a magecraft item said to destroy an entire mountain in one swing. I think it's like that. But noble phantasms are kind of a miracle activated only when their true names are spoken, so they can't be used casually. Huh. It activates when the weapon's name is spoken, right? Why would that make it so hard to use? Don't you not realize that saying the weapon's name also tells you which hero the servant is? The heroes of the magical swords are a set, so if you know their weapon's name, you also know its wielder's name. If that happens, you'll then know their strengths and weaknesses. I see. Yeah, you make a good point. Now that I think back, when Lancer used his noble phantasm, Saber immediately figured out his identity. Wait, we did? Something about Ireland's child of light. Ah, yes. Right, I recall that. Okay, so servants are separated by classes, and each of them are heroic spirits suited to that class. They're all concealing their identities, and the weapons that they wield are the most powerful aces they've got up their sleeve, but they can't use it freely or they would wind up revealing their identity. That's all I can tell you about servants. If you want more details, just look in that book. Flip through it when you have the time. Once you get used to it, you should be able to identify servants intuitively without the book. Okay, so how do I find this book then? Is that one of these things? And this says servants. Is this the book? Unnamed axe sword. Interesting. Okay, I get it now. The stone sword that Berserker uses. Gotcha. Okay, neat. What do we know about Saber? Oh, we got alignments too. Lawful good. Nice. Lots of info. Skills. Oh, sheesh. Okay. T? What's T? That just looks like a timeline. Oh, you were just probably just saying true. Okay. With that, Tasaka stands up. That'll help with the tier list later. Fair point. Okay, well, I'm heading home. Yeah, thanks. I'm still sitting on the floor, so I look up at Tasaka as she gets ready to leave. Don't get confused about things, just because we formed an alliance. You and me, we're going to fight eventually. When all the other masters have been defeated, or even if they're still alive, we're bound to fight, no matter what. You're better off not seeing me as human, Emiya. After making very clear where we stand, Tasaka leaves for her home. I can already feel myself getting less and less stressed once Tasaka leaves. My feverish body is suddenly overcome with exhaustion, and I collapse to the floor. I lie on my side to try to ignore the nausea creeping back over me. The ticking of the clock echoes throughout the quiet living room. A battle between masters, huh? I still don't understand what the heck that is. All I know is that I don't know much. It may have felt more real to me if I was even a little more interested in the Holy Grail. I don't know what it is, but the only thing I can feel for the Holy Grail is disgust. A grail that supposedly grants wishes. I don't know what it is exactly, but it's an artifact powerful enough to summon servants. It may not grant every wish, but it's more than valuable enough for a mage. And yet I have no interest. I might be skeptical because it doesn't feel real to me, but I also feel it's not fair to take a shortcut like that. Plus, it doesn't sit well with me, knowing that the selection process is just a battle. Yet, this is a game of musical chairs. No matter how I feel about it, I'll need to overcome my competition to survive now that I'm involved. And one of the methods to get rid of the competition could be to involve and harm other innocent people. That's why. Rejoice, Shiremiya. My reason to fight in the Holy Grail War is not to survive and win. Your wish will finally be granted. It's to do everything I can to stop those who will try to win by any means necessary. I feel dizzy again. That's not surprising. No matter how much my body appears healed, it was nearly split in half just a few hours ago. This feeling isn't going anywhere anytime soon. Honestly, I wouldn't be surprised if I felt this way for the rest of my life. I was very nearly killed 3 times in one day. There's no denying that someone with no power will wind up hurt if they participate in battle. My own ineptitude nearly cost me my own body. Then that girl got hurt trying to protect me. Ugh. I try to sit back up. Right, her. I can't believe myself. I completely forgot about her because Tosaka had settled herself in my living room. Maybe it's more that I was just avoiding thinking about her. I'm such a coward. I was avoiding thinking about the girl who was bleeding miserably. Even though I was the reason she got hurt in the first place. I can't believe Tosaka left out the most crucial point. I shoved myself back up to my feet. Tosaka never said anything about Saber. The only thing she said was that she and Saber brought me home. But she didn't elaborate. The very first thing I should have asked was whether the girl was safe since Berserker wounded her. I suppress my nausea as I make my way through the mansion. Saber is nowhere to be found. I even checked the detached guest rooms, but I can't find her. That's weird. That armor isn't exactly camouflage. Even so, a fully armed and armored Saber still eludes me. Supposedly servants can turn into spirit forms, but unfortunately she can't with me. Now, first of all, even though I'm called a master, I don't know anything about her. I don't even know what Saber is or how servants are able to exist. It's like a new soldier suddenly gets awarded with a tank. But what's fortunate is that this tank has an autopilot. Even if the soldier is incompetent, the tank will run on its own. I bang my head against the pillar, frustrated by my own thoughts. What's with these negative thoughts, you idiots? You're whining. I apologize to the blonde girl internally. Right now, I need to find her and see if she's okay. She's not here either. I've looked around the entire house. It's the size of a traditional Japanese inn, but I played hide and seek with Fujini when I was a kid, so I know the most efficient way to search it. She must be in the dojo or the shed if she isn't in the house itself. The yard, the shed, or... She told me she was going to protect me. So she's not likely to leave the house. Hey, maybe she's... I suddenly remember another place. If she's not in the house, the yard, or the shed where we first met, there's another big building within the compound. That's where she'll be. I head over as quick as I can. My destination is the Kendo dojo in the detached building. I'm getting a little nervous. If she's not there, I'll have to accept that she just disappeared. I realized something. I have no clue who she is, but I still want her to be here. I enter an enclosed room, completely absent any ornamentation. It's not a room to live in, yet it's a dojo designed only for training. Within the tranquil room, lit by the sun. Oh! She changed. She sits as if she's always belonged there. The place is hushed. Serene. The sunlight coming in is white and untainted, allowing the girl to be one with the dojo. It's the same girl who wielded her sword without hesitation, protecting me from Lancer last night under the moonlight. That golden mane of hers, which had soaked in the blue-white moonlight, now glitters in the sunlight. And then I remember. This is exactly how I felt when I first saw her. She was clad in armor, wielding her sword, and silently overwhelming the enemy. The extraordinary sight of her isn't what surprised me. In fact, it didn't matter how she looked. Even if she'd been covered in mud, I don't think my reaction would have been different. The girl who had so moved me is still right there, here, in front of me. I just admire her, forgetting even to breathe. Down with being a master in the Holy Grail War. In this moment, I have completely accepted the girl called Saber. I don't know how much time elapsed. Saber opens her eyes as if waking from a slumber. Oh. I sound disappointed, and my voice echoes through the dojo in silence. Saber notices and stands up without making a sound. She walks toward me before I can think of what to say. You are awake, Shiro. Her voice is serene. Something rich and calm about her voice hangs in the air. Yeah, I just woke up. I managed to answer, at least. Shiro, is something the matter? Perhaps you're still not fully recovered? No, I'm fine. I feel real good. I recoil from her. I averted my eyes and tried to get my heartbeat under control before my chest bursts. Get a hold of yourself. Why are you getting worked up like this? I take a deep breath. But I don't think this feeling is going away anytime soon. Man, why did she have to change? Saber's appearance is drastically different from yesterday. Her outfit now is so ordinary, in stark contrast to her armor. Her appearance takes me by surprise. She seems more real, which confuses the hell out of me. Seriously, she is drop-dead gorgeous. I mean, I saw that yesterday, but it's actually setting in now. As soon as we make eye contact, I can feel my nervousness grow. Then again, I wasn't looking everywhere for her just to stay silent. It's uncomfortable, but I can't let it be awkward forever. Saber, right? This is actually the first time we've sat down to talk. I bite the bullets. But then... Shiro, before that, there's something that I would address regarding last night. Are you gonna scold me for, the whole leaping out in front of you thing? Again, because Rin already went over that pretty thoroughly. She interrupts me, obviously displeased, making her earlier calm hard to fathom. Sure. What is it? As I said last night, you are my master. It is troubling if you take such actions. Combat is my territory, so please stay behind me and out of the direct line of fire. I cannot protect you when you go out on your own, apparently determined to die in vain as you so nearly did. Saber doesn't mince words. I can respect the direct approach, certainly. Her clipped tone is enough to make me forget my anxiety. What the hell? If I hadn't intervened, you'd been cut in half. Perhaps I would have died, but you would not have been hurt. Let me repeat myself. Do not do that again. My master need not defend me, nor is there any reason to do so. The girl speaks frankly. She's very clerical. Well, don't be stupid. I don't need a reason to protect a girl. The words just pop out before I can think about it. Saber stiffens as if surprised to see me upset at her. I find myself taking a step back under her severe expression. Now I just feel embarrassed, like I've said something incredibly tone deaf. Anyway, Thanks for taking me home. I appreciate that. You are most welcome. It is a servant's duty to protect their master, but it is still nice to be acknowledged. You are very courteous, Shiro. I don't think I'm particularly polite, actually. There's something more pressing that I need to bring up. Something I should have asked as soon as I got home yesterday. Is she willing to be my servant? And is she really alright with that? Fighting with me in this war? Well, let's get back on topic, Saber. I can call you Saber, right? Yes, as a servant who has formed a contract with you, I am your sword. I shall follow your orders, attack your enemies, and protect you. Saber does not hesitate in the slightest to give her answer. Her tone leaves no room for doubt. You're my sword, huh? To win the Holy Grail thing? Is that not why you summoned me? See, here's the thing. I didn't summon you, so I don't know how this whole situation ended up happening, but... No, I wound up summoning you because... I couldn't just tell her it was a big, weird coincidence. And actually, I didn't even summon her. Saber just appeared when I was in trouble and saved me. And here we are. Ah, dang it. I thought I had everything set up properly, but I still have my delay on. That's so lame. Okay. I knew I had something that I didn't set properly. Dang. Okay. Well, hopefully that wasn't too distracting for everyone. And here we are. I became Saber's master, and I got looped into this battle to the death, this Holy Grail war. I didn't choose any of this. I'm still just an apprentice mage who's just got caught up in a battle way beyond my abilities. Wait, so what about it? I'm already resolved to fight no matter what. There's no point in me crying over my situation now. I shake my head trying to stop myself from whining. No more of that. I've already said I'd fight. I can't just drop everything and run. This will be the last time I whine aloud, or think negatively. No matter how I get involved, I've decided to fight. It's nothing. But I'll need to warn you. Your chances of winning are pretty slim with me. I don't have any knowledge or power like Tasaka. We could very well end up in another situation like last night. Are you still okay with that? Are you saying you have no intention of fighting? I mean, not exactly. I have the will to fight. I'm only asking if you still want to team up with me, knowing how slim the odds are. How I got to this conclusion doesn't matter. All that matters is that I've decided to fight this battle. That's why I don't think it's right for someone to get hurt on my behalf. Even if I'm weak, having Saber fight and having her get hurt like that. I can't stand that happening again. You are my master, Shiro. That is an immutable fact. Servants do not have the freedom to choose their masters. She's right. That is the whole reason Saber is my servant. If it's true, I'll need to respect Saber's needs and actions as best as I can. Got it. Then you're okay with me being your master? Yes, but I also want you to know that I will not allow my master to be defeated. If you have no chance for victory, I must create one. I utilize every opportunity available for you to obtain the Holy Grail. Thanks. To obtain the Holy Grail. Tosaka said servants also have a wish they want granted. Saber's no exception. That's why she hasn't hesitated up to this point. But it's also why... Oh, hold on, Saber. You said any means possible, right? Does that mean you'll stop at nothing to win? Like, you might even attack people to gain power? I can't finish my sentence. Saber looks at me as if she's looking at an enemy. Did I say something? Sure, that is not what I mean by any means possible. I mean, I guess that's nice. I can only do things I allow myself to. It is impossible for me to betray my own beliefs. Harming unarmed innocents goes against a knight's oath. Okay, confirmed that she is a knight. Good to know. However, I must obey if you order so. In that case, you'll have to use one of your command spells in compensation. I get overwhelmed by the edge in her voice. Well, at least got a moral servant. At the same time, I feel relief flooding through me. Saber seemed like a robot because of her extraordinary power and lack of hesitation, but I know now she's not some cold-blooded killer. Yeah, I wouldn't make you do anything like that. Just as you say, we have to do our best with what we can do. I'm really sorry. What I've said must have been insulting. No, I also failed to grasp your intentions and jump to conclusions. You are not at fault, so may you please raise your head? Oh, I bowed without realizing it. I raised my head. Oh, that's a cute smile. I don't know what's so funny, but Saber has a small smile on her face. Glad she seems happy, so I don't press her. I forgot to bring this up. In addition to doing everything we can, I've decided to team up with Tosaka for the time being. Remember her, the girl who was with us last night, Archer's Master? You mean Rin? That is certainly a wise decision. I'm sure there are many things you can learn from her until you become a full-fledged master. Ouch, even my servants call me not yet a full-fledged master. That burns. That's a relief. As long as Saber agrees, I can work together with Tosaka without hesitation. The only other thing I need to ask her right now is... What here is Saber? Are you okay, or where did you get those clothes? Oh man, I want to ask all these questions. I mean, the clothes one is probably the least important. It would probably be useful to know what hero she is, right? She'd probably be annoyed if I'm overly concerned about her. Maybe. I don't know. I'm not sure if these are mutually exclusive choices here. Okay, it's between the top two. I'm curious at the bottom one, but it'll probably... Well, the bottom one, like, it's only two possible answers, really. It's either like, oh yeah, I got them, or like, Rin lent them to me, or did you know you have clothes that happen to fit in here? Or it's going to be like, oh yeah, by the way, like, we're magical entities, we can just kind of make what we want. I mean, that's somewhat useful to know, like, because if it's the latter, then that could actually have tactical implications later, actually. Okay, I'm going to ask if she's okay. I want to have a good working relationship here with Saber. And there's no way that this is my only chance to learn who she is. Okay, so I'm gonna ask if she's all right. Like she got. And also, it's good tactically to know like how quickly she can recover. I'm worried about Saber. She was hurt pretty bad. By the way, Saber, are you alright? It looks like you took a real beating from Berserker. As you can see, my body is back to normal. My wounds were severe enough to ensure defeat, but not to be fatal. I finished recovering roughly an hour after Berserker retreated. An hour? That's it? Like, finished recovering as like back to 100%? That's insane. What? So you're completely back to normal already? Of course. However, I'm not entirely in peak condition. I was able to heal my wounds from Berserker's attacks because they were rather mundane, as these things go. But my wound from Lance's noble phantasm is another matter. That spear must have been imbued with a special curse. The wounds I sustained have not completely healed. Not completely healed, huh? She doesn't look wounded, but Saber doesn't seem the type to complain about pain. As long as I'm fighting with Saber, it's sounding like I need to keep a pretty sharp eye on her well-being. But then, I hear something heavy hit the floor by the door. What? What's that? I turn to face the sound. At the door, is it gonna be Sakura? Oh, Rin. Rin's back. Oh, there, Tasaka. A duffel bag. There's Tasaka, a duffel bag at her feet. What the? My mind comes to a screeching halt. I thought Tasaka had gone home, but here she is at the dojo in her ordinary clothes. And why is she carrying so much stuff? What are you doing here, Tasaka? What do you mean? I went home to get my stuff. Wouldn't it be the sensible thing since I'm going to live here from now on? When did we agree to that? I agreed to an alliance, not like a marriage. What? Live? You're living here in my house. That's what teaming up means, right? Honestly, what did you think we were talking about earlier? I don't know, like going on raids together, tactical like defensive strategies and stuff. Maybe setting up like a Lord of the Rings style like warning system to contact each other. I mean, her logic's very sound though. That the best way we can defend each other is if we're in the same physical location most of the time. I can't even speak. I need something. I need to say something, or else it's going to turn into a huge mess. My brain refuses to work. So where's our room? If you don't have one ready, I'll just pick one. I mean, we have no shortage of rooms, so she just pushes right by me, brashly invading my home. Again. No, hold up, that's... Wouldn't this be wrong? I mean, that's like it's pretty much the school's idol. Having her in my house at all is already a big deal, but I don't know how people react if she started staying here or living with me. And Fujini would absolutely kill me. And well, maybe this is just a plot on Tasaka's part to get rid of a master. It's avoid the garage is getting out of hand. Yeah, tends to be the case in these sorts of things. Visual novels, anime, and the like. Oh, by the way, why don't you prepare a room for her too? Unlike my archer, your servant actually takes up space, so you need to set up a place for her to rest. Well, I guess it's not a huge deal if you think just one futon would be enough for the two of you. What are you insinuating? What? Is she implying Saber and I sleep in the same bed or something? Like hell that's gonna happen, idiots! You think you can just say whatever because I'm being quiet? But this isn't ever happening. Saber's a girl, you know. You're missing the point. But whatever. Did you hear that, Saber? Shiro's saying he doesn't want to share a room with a girl. Saber, why are you glaring at me? It was out of respect and chivalry. Surely you come from an age where that was like a thing, yeah? Saber's staring at me. She looks really stern. That will not do, Shiro. A servant must protect their master at all times. Masters are most vulnerable when they're asleep, so I must be in the room with you to protect you. You know, she's actually completely right. We'll just find it. We'll get a room with like a couple twins or something. That'll work. That's even worse. What the hell are you two thinking? Should girls really be thinking that kind of stuff? We are in the middle of a war to like the death, so. Why? Why are the two of them just silently staring at me like that? You do know you don't really need to treat servants like humans, right? I guess there's just no sense telling Shiro that, though. I'm about to protest, but I shut my mouth. The discomfort I felt when I was talking to Tosaka in the living room earlier comes rushing back. Actually, I just figured out the cause of my discomfort. Hold on, Tosaka. When did you start calling me by my first name? Huh? I hadn't even realized it. I thought it happened pretty quickly. It did happen quickly. At least that's how I felt. Oh, if you don't like it, I'll try to be more careful about it, but do you care, Shiro? Tosaka's so casual about this, not really caring how I feel. You're right, Isai. It's not that Rin Tosaka might be a cruel enchantress. She is one. Fine, do whatever you want. You can call me whatever you like. Yeah, I will then. Rin, please do not change the subject. We have not finished deciding the matter, Shiro, and my living arrangements. Oh, that's right. Given Shiro's reaction, it might not be realistic for you and Shiro to share a room. There's no point in treating servants like humans, but you might as well give up since Shiro hates that idea. That is not true. Shiro simply expressed his discomfort, but he did not outright say no. You heard her, so what do you really mean, Shiro? Oh, hold on a minute. I don't understand how in a single day she can just casually start calling me Shiro, like a cat she just picked up and named. Well, that's not really the issue here. This is about Saber's living arrangement. Shiro, I will ask you once again. It is a servant's job to guard you while you sleep. At this point, I am sure you understand your position as a master. My decision won't change how much she stares at me like that. No, I'll prepare a different room for Saber. I'll make sure her room's closest to mine. That should be a good compromise. You know, it's a traditional Japanese house. The walls are, paper thin or whatever. Don't quote me on that. I'm not an expert on traditional Japanese architecture. All I know is they've got like the big papery sliding doors. Intimidation won't work with me. Anyway, I'm a man, so I have to draw the line. You need to be more mindful of your position too, Saber. Yes, exactly. That is why I'm simply insisting as a servant that I protect Master. No, not that. I'm talking about your own position. Okay, you don't get it. If you don't get it, then never mind. If you're going to keep on pressing the issue, I'll make you understand. If I have to use my command spell. Oh, Shiro, do not use your command spell on this. Come on. I try to scare Saber off the subject. I would not like you using a command spell for that reason. Our future would be bleak indeed were you to use such a thing to command me not to protect you. Yeah. You're right. Shiro is the first and definitely last master to say something like that. Don't be stupid. I wouldn't want to use like Ansel for something like this either. Understood. I will follow Master's command. But what will you do if you are ambushed? Assassins have the ability to close in on their target by concealing their presence. Oh, and by the way, one of the... Just as a side note, one of the servants in this war is literally called Assassin, just to be clear. Regardless, if that were to happen, are you able to protect yourself until I reach you? No, but... Well, I really can't tell her that I can take care of myself. Yeah, I managed to survive against Lancer, but I won't have that kind of luck twice. Especially not while I'm sleeping. That's not possible. This mansion has a bounded field set up to alert the residents of any intruders. We may not be able to avoid being attacked, but we should be able to detect attempts at an ambush. If that happens, Saber should have time to rush to Shiro's defense before he's attacked. So she can go ahead and take another room. That may be true, but... Then why did you take the room next to Shiro's? You're fine as long as you two don't share rooms, right, Amiya? Tosaka purposefully calls me Amiya at the end. Can't wait for Ezio to be revealed as the assassin. I'm pretty sure that game came out after this one. Unless... I wouldn't put it past the Assassin's Creed team, but I'm pretty sure... I don't think Ezio is actually a historical figure. Maybe kind of based on the general archetype of the time period, but yeah, anyway. Tosaka purposefully calls me Amiya at the end. Tosaka, that's a bit of a misconception. I'm saying it for your sake, so it's justified. Anyway, I wonder which room I should take. Tosaka takes her luggage and heads towards the mansion, putting an end to the conversation. She seems cheerful, like a student picking her room at a school trip. How terrifying the way Tosaka carries herself so self-assuredly mesmerizes the two of us. I both watch her go in a stunned dismay. We all leave the dojo and head back to the house. For the time being, I need to give them all a tour so Saber can select her room. This is the Japanese-style room. If you head towards the back, you'll find the living room, bathroom, and other communal spaces. You'll get to the guest house if you walk along the veranda corridor towards the detached side of the house. Seems like Tosaka wants to go that way. As we walk, I explain where everything is. I'm not sure if she's even listening since Saber is just following me without reacting to a single thing I say. Now, what I'm really curious about is, what are the two women that normally visit me in the morning going to think once they see that I have randomly picked up two female roommates for my mansion? I do not need to know the layout of the house. I just need to know where your room is, Shiro. Well, I mean, knowing the layout of the house could actually be a tactical advantage should you get into a scuffle in the mansion. So, my room is this way. It's pretty far into the house. Then please lead me there. There's something I wish to discuss with you privately. Privately? That means it's something she doesn't want Tosaka to hear. I don't think Tosaka would hear us since she's in the detached area of the house, but I can't forget that she's still a master. She could just as easily listen in, and besides, the veranda's hardly a place to talk in private. Here, this is my room. What? This is your room, Shiro? Is it surprising? The moment we step into my room, Saber's eyes widen with surprise. What's wrong? I don't think there's anything around here that should surprise you like that. No, it's not that there's anything that surprises me. It's more that I'm more surprised that there is nothing here. You are certain this is your room? Yeah, I'm a minimalist sort of guy. Why would I lie to you about that? I only come here to sleep, so it makes sense there's nothing here. I see. I just did not expect that. I imagined you to be a collector of some sort. Why? Saber steps into the Japanese-style room, running her hand along the wall and sliding paper door, feeling its texture. Her touch is gentle, as if contact with these things will let her learn their history, see their memories. I'm glad. Your room may seem sparse, but it feels like it has been treated with care. It looks drab, but I can feel the warmth here. Warmth? Well, I guess that's true. Maybe it's how this mansion's been structured, but this room is cool during the summer and warm in the winter. My old man was also impressed and said I chose well. I'm pretty sure she wasn't talking literal warmth. Yes, a room is a reflection of its owner's personality. The state of this room left me concerned about your disposition, but now my impression of you is as it was previous to coming here. Saber sounds relieved, but I don't really understand what she's trying to say. So, what did you want to talk to me privately about? Two things, both of which I would like to keep between the two of us. Is that alright? Huh, well, if you say so, I don't mind, but at least tell me what they are, or else I won't know whether it's good or bad. Both are bad. At the very least, I do not want any of the other masters knowing this. From Saber's expression, I'm guessing this has something to do with our shortcomings? Okay, I think I got the gist of what's on your mind. Go ahead and tell me what it is. The first thing is about a summoned servant's first obligation. I'm afraid I cannot fulfill that obligation, so I'd like to apologize in advance. Your first obligation? Huh? A servant's first obligation. Oh, wait. Is it because... Right, to get the Grail, you gotta be... Because the Grail exists in, like, the spirit plane. So you gotta be a spirit to get it. But currently she can't go into spirit mode. Yeah, that's gonna be a problem. Oh, never mind. Revealing my identity to you. Have you not heard it from Rin? Huh? About who you are? Oh, you mean your real name. Guess I was off base. Servants are heroic spirits. They're heroes who have made a name for themselves throughout history and around the world. They conceal their identities as well as their skills by using class names. A servant's true name isn't something to reveal lightly. But their masters should know. Without knowing their identity, masters won't know a servant's strengths and abilities. Masters and servants are one. The pair simply can't battle effectively if one has something to hide. At least that would be the case if we're talking about a normal master. Knowing Saber's true name won't change the fact that I still can't use her with her full potential, and I wasn't all that interested in the first place. Okay, that's fine, but why? I am basing this off my own understanding of the situation. Inside of whatever intention or efforts on your part to protect my true name, there are numerous ways with which an enemy could use CMeeCraft to rip that knowledge from you. I suppose that's fair. You have little resistance to CMeeCraft. A skilled mage could easily take advantage of this. Should you fall under an enemy's spell, you may reveal my true name, entirely against your will. I get it. Yeah, you're right. I'd give it up the moment a spell was cast on me. Let's keep it a secret. I appreciate your understanding. Then again, I am not as renowned or distinguished as the likes of Berserker anyway. It may not make much of a difference, even if were my name to be revealed. Okay, Interesting. Saber's tone is regretful. Hadn't quite expected that. She seems to have a human side to her, which she lets show in revealing how she's frustrated she may be inferior to Berserker as a hero. That doesn't matter. An ace up your sleeve's only value isn't that it's concealed. I can tell you're trying to be creative since you ended up with such a terrible master. Besides, don't you think Berserker's kind of unfair anyway? There's no reason for you to get depressed about it. And from my point of view, you weren't completely inferior to that thing. You were injured pretty bad, but you were holding your own. You may be right. I was caught off guard last night, but once my wounds are fully healed, things will go differently. I bet. Okay, that's the first topic. What's the other thing you wanted to talk about? Yes, about that. I'm afraid this is something we were unable to resolve on our own. Servants maintain their form with the magical energy their masters supply. That is why a servant requires a master. You saying I'm too weak? But because I'm a crab master, I don't have enough magical energy to maintain your body. That is not what I'm saying. Even were I to receive only a small amount of magical energy from my master, that would not be a problem. However, as of right now, I'm not receiving any magical energy from you at all. The ley-line connection we should have is not present. That means... It means that while I'm supposed to be providing Saber with fuel for her engine, so to speak, I'm not. Saber, that means... This is not a shortcoming on your part. Something must have happened at the time of my summoning. Some sort of error must have occurred, and the connection that should have been formed between us failed to do so properly. It is now about the time when I should tell her that I didn't actually try to summon her. Like, I didn't do a ritual at all, she just sort of appeared. An error during your summoning. When Saber was called here, it wasn't any sort of summoning. It was just an accident. It's no wonder Saber's having these issues since she was summoned that way. Wait, then what's going to happen if you can't replenish magical energy? Does that mean you're going to disappear soon? Yes, once I use up all my magical energy I possess, I will no longer be able to remain in this world. I have already fought 3 battles since I was summoned. My healing ability is a type of regeneration CMeeCraft, so I'll consume more magical energy whenever I'm injured. By my calculations, I must have used about 10 full-fledged mages worth of magical energy last night. That's a lot! I am speechless. Every time Saber fights, she loses magical energy, and there's no way for her to replace it. If she's used that much magical energy already, how much longer can Saber stay here? Now you understand, Master. Okay, so we need to be really tactical with choosing our battles, then. Thus, I must avoid using any more magical energy. If I am unable to supplement my magical energy, the only other method is for me to sleep to reduce the consumption of magical energy. I mean, guess you can, yeah, sleep, sure. Sleep, does sleeping restore magical energy? I do not know, but at the very least I will not use any magical energy whilst asleep. Okay. Which is why I'd like you to permit me to sleep as much as possible. I may not be able to protect you all the time, but I hope you do understand, so that we may increase our chances of victory. I sigh in relief. Thank goodness. I'll give her whatever she asks for if that's all there is to it. Of course that's okay. Rest all you want, if things get rough for you. I'd rather you do that, if I'll allow you to stay with me, if it'll allow you to stay with me longer. Then from now on I will sleep often. During that time I ask that you do not leave the mansion. I'll not be able to come to your aid if you are attacked while we are apart. Matters would be different if I could travel through space and time, but that is a rare ability for servants to have. If you are to call me from a distance, you will need to use command spells as backup, so I prefer you remained nearby. As much as I would like to, I can't readily agree. I can't imagine life with Saber sticking by my side all the time, and I do have my own life to live too. I'll try, but is that all you need me to do? If you're asleep, you'll... It shouldn't be a problem. I cannot be certain since this has never happened before, but I went into battle fewer than 7 times last time. Even if I do not go out and fight, some of the other servants will dispatch each other. True. I see. So it doesn't mean everyone has to battle everyone else. If all goes well, we can end this war pretty easily. The only people I need to fight are those who start doing things no person should. I can't imagine all 7 would be like that. Even Tasaka, who seems eager to fight, would still abide by the rules of the mages. As long as the other 5 masters act humanely, I have no intention of fighting them. Saber even said she didn't fight 7 times last time, so this time around... Oh. Hold on a minute. Last time fewer than 7 times? Hold on, Saber. Are you telling me you were the Saber last time too? I mean, does that mean you participated in the last Holy Grail War too? This is the 2nd time I have participated in this war for the Holy Grail. I was a Saber last time as well. There are heroic spirits who possess attributes suited to multiple classes, but I only fall under the Saber class. It's interesting. I remember something Tasaka said. She said that out of the 7 servant classes, Saber is the best one. And this girl says that she has been summoned as that class twice in a row. Does that mean last time you stayed until the end? Of course. I did not have any of the constraints I do now last time, so I never fell behind the other servants. Saber says this as if it should be obvious. Her statement forces me to realize something. The sword in my possession now is not something I'm worthy of. I don't deserve her. Damn. You must be really unsatisfied with someone like me as your master. I simply fulfill the duties that have been given to me. As long as I can obtain the Holy Grail, I have no complaints about who my master is. Got it. That's a relief, but... She used to be fully prepared and in capable hands, but she's been injured twice already? All because she can't replenish her magical energy. That means she'll constantly have to consider how much magical energy she has left as she fights. And because she needs to fight with all these restrictions in her last battle. She wound up covered in her own blood. The image still haunts my mind. I still see that girl, smaller and slighter than me, being so brutally injured. Sure, there's no reason to regret such a thing. Several snaps you back to reality. It is not that I have never known defeat. I was not victorious last time, and so now I am your servant. I'm accustomed to injury, so there's no call for you to be distressed over my wounds. Used to it? Even if your injuries look like they could be fatal? Yes. To wield a sword is to be prepared to accept the consequences of doing so. This holds true for you as well. It is unreasonable to expect me to come out of this unscathed. Well, yeah, but... So you're saying you don't mind getting hurt? As long as the injuries are not fatal. If I die, I will not be able to protect my master. What the hell? So you don't care if you get injured as long as you protect your master? That is a servant's role. In this, Rin is absolutely correct. There's no cause to treat servants like humans. We are tools used to protect our master, and that is something you must understand. Having said her piece, Saber walks toward the sliding door. There is a room opposite of the screen door. My room has always been big enough for me, so I never use the adjacent room. I go to sleep now. I wake up at dinner time, so please let me know if you are going to step out. The sliding door opens quietly, then slides back shut. We are tools used to protect our master. That is something you must understand. What kind of logic is that? It pisses me off. But I can't say that aloud, so I just take in Saber's words and stand alone, perplexed. I sit at the edge of the veranda and mindlessly look up at the blue sky. I may not be sleeping during the day like Saber, but I still need rest. I'm not nauseous anymore, but I still feel terrible. On top of that, all the unexpected things that have happened are weighing heavily on me. I take a deep breath and look blankly out over the yard. I asked about everything I needed to know, and I got answers. But I'm no less lost for it. And yet Tasaka, my senior as a mage, or rather a full-fledged master, is completely nonchalant about the whole situation. Hey, do you have an extra cushions around? Also, beakers and a protractor? What the heck do you need those for? She's busy scouring the house for stuff. Take any cushion you want from the guest room. But a normal house doesn't have beakers or protractors. And come on, you can find a protractor. Like I have one somewhere, I think. Are you serious? A mage should always keep experimental tools around. Look, you can check the shed, I guess. It might be there. If we do have such things, they'd be in the shed. Complaining loudly, she turns and heads back towards the detached building. Tasaka's really serious about getting herself situated here. And the matter of her staying overnight seems to also be settled. When I peeked into the detached building earlier, she'd already picked out the best room for herself. She'd even put up a sign that read, "Remodeling in progress, do not enter." That's funny. Fine, I guess it won't be an issue since the detached building is far away enough. Having Saber around already has me on edge, but if Tasaka were close too, there'd be nowhere for me to relax anymore. The detached building is far enough, and even though it's connected by a corridor, it feels like it's a neighboring house. As long as I keep my distance, nothing bad should happen. It's like I'm renting out the other half of a duplex. Oh, but I guess we'll see each other during meals. There's only one bath here. What? In the whole house? Really? It's a mansion. What is it, like a 6-1 or something? So we'll have to decide when each of us will use it. Wait a minute, Saber's a girl too, so... Idiot, what the hell am I thinking? I shake my head violently and slump back onto the floor. With what must be my millionth sigh today, I stare blankly up at the sky. I'm getting drowsy. Must be more tired than I realized. Whatever. I just go ahead and close my eyes. Apparently not caring at all works wonders. The moment I close my eyes, I drift right off to sleep. The next thing I know, the sun has long since set, and Saber, Tasaka, and I have gathered around in the living room. I've only just woken up, and Saber's already in the living room, and Tasaka had just finished remodeling her room. By the way, this is what the guest room looked like a few hours ago. Oh, that's quaint. But now... Sure, how do I use the AC in here? This was what I saw after being summoned for something so trivial even Fujini wouldn't have bothered with me with it. Okay. The room has transformed into this. I sure know how to pick a teammate. I'm uncomfortable. My house is playing host to not one, but 2 invaders. I'm all the more unsettled because I so rarely have guests here. What are you talking about? I have guests literally like every morning, dude. Come on, relax, chill. Actually, these 2 don't even look like they belong in a Japanese-style house to begin with. Yeah, that is true. Yeah. The time is almost 7 o'clock at night. Everyone's in the living room, but staying quiet and doing nothing isn't really good for my mental well-being. If you two don't mind, I want to talk about what we do from here. Just a sec. Before we do that, I want to set one thing straight. Sure. What's that? It's about dinner. Sure, you've been living alone for a while, right? Ostensibly. Well, yeah. Which means you've been making your own meals, right? Well, about that, it's not quite that simple. Of course, I'd go hungry if I didn't eat. I see, then I have a proposal for you. Why don't we take turns preparing dinner? We're going to be living together for a while, so that'll help, right? Yeah, I guess it makes sense. You're right. I was thinking of going about my normal routine, but now that you're going to be living here, you'll be like family. You'll be expected to cook, and it'll lift some of the burden from me. That's settled then. Today it'll be Shiro's turn. It's late already, so let's talk about this after we've eaten. Wait, it's fine if we take turns cooking dinner, but what about breakfast? We're going to take turns for breakfast too? Don't worry about breakfast. I don't eat breakfast. What? Don't be ridiculous. You won't grow up big and strong unless you eat breakfast. Mind your own business. Henry, you're going to make dinner today. And if you don't make something decent, I'm not talking to you. For the life of me, I don't know what sets her off, but Tosaka glares at me irritated. Fine, I'll make something. Seb, you're going to eat too, right? If you're going to prepare something, then yes. Meals are an important source of energy. Can you get magical energy from meals? Just asking for you? Got it, then you two sit back and behave yourselves. I grab my apron and head to the kitchen. Luckily, there are enough ingredients for a meal for 3. I turned on the rice cooker right when I woke up, so it should be done in about half an hour. I glanced towards Tosaka and Saber from the kitchen. Those two look like they would prefer eating Western-style meals over Japanese meals. I seriously doubt Saber would like tofu and natto, to say nothing of Tosaka. Actually, I don't think Saber would be able to hold chopsticks in the first place. I hesitate for a minute, but there's no point worrying about this now. There's only a few dishes I can make with the ingredients I have right now. I have tofu. I think for a moment and decide to make deep-fried tofu. I also decide to make a simple tofu and seaweed soup. Since I have some chicken prepped, I'll use that to make teriyaki chicken as the main dish. I drain the water from the tofu, season the chicken, and cut the daikon into thin strips to make a crunchy salad. I also grate the daikon to make a sauce and saute some shishito peppers. Have you decided on what to do, Rin? Not really. I can't say much because I don't have much information, but I think the most important thing to do is find the other masters. They're former masters. I'd like to search for them without revealing that I'm a master too, but I don't think that's realistic. I told them to be good, but they're on a pretty disturbing topic. Don't they see I'm busy making dinner for the 3 of us? They're not even looking over here. Tosaka, not 4, it's 5. The only masters we know so far are you and me. Have you forgotten about Ilya? I shout my contribution from the kitchen, holding the big frying pot to make the deep-fried tofu. Oh, that's nice. What are you talking about? We know 3. You, me, and that Ilias Vale. Did you already forget about that? About Berserker? Oh. Oh, right, that old girl is also a master. I'd completely forgotten about her since Berserker left such a vivid impression on me. But now I remember that little girl's a master too. She tried to kill us without a second hesitation. I bet you didn't even consider Ilya Visel as an enemy. Figure out that for now. Just concentrate on cooking. We're going to have a problem if I can't judge how good you are. Huh? I don't know if my cooking skills are going to be problematic to Tosaka, but she's right. The food prep's pretty much done, so I need to concentrate and finish the dishes now. Ilyasville, Berserker's master. You seem to know her, Rin. Well, yeah, or I know the name anyway. The Einsburns are a mage family who have been in the Holy Grail War a few times. So they're well versed in the Holy Grail War? Probably. I don't know about the others, but I can say pretty confidently that Ilyasville is our biggest obstacle. The Berserker class is typically used to enhance a weaker hero. Or enhance a weak hero. It takes the heroic spirit's sanity in exchange for strengthening them. But to control a hero that's turned violent requires a vast amount of magical energy. Let's say, for example, if you became a Berserker class, I would not be able to communicate with you as I am now. Berserkers are entirely specialized in combat, totally unable to cooperate with anyone. It would be like attempting to tame a wounded lion. No ordinary mage could control such a servant. I figured as much. An ordinary mage would have a difficult time controlling a Berserker, even if the heroic spirit was a minor hero. Yet Ilyasville summoned an absolutely top-tier hero as a Berserker, and she's managed to control him completely. I hate to say this, but that girl's ability as a master is on an entirely different level. I agree. Our current problem is that we are being targeted by this extraordinary master. Right, my archer hasn't recovered to the point where he can return to battle. What about you, Saber? How are your wounds? I should be fine for normal battles, but I have not yet recovered to the point where I can go up against Berserker. The wounds I sustained from Berserker have completely healed, but it appears the wound I received from Lancer will take longer. I see, then at this point we have no choice but to wait and see. I have a suggestion. I hear Archers has keen eyes. What do you think of having him keep watch over this house and the surrounding area? I intend to have him do just that. Have him keep watch from the roof, so we should know right away if someone suspicious gets near. This house also has a bounded field around it, so we should be good as far as defenses go. Though if Berserker came in to invade this house, our only option would probably be to run away. The two continue their conversation. I don't like it. I'm the one making dinner for them, so I think it's rude for them to talk without me. Besides, Tosaka's too friendly with Saber. Well, I can't really talk to Tosaka so casually like that, so maybe Tosaka's just talking to Saber on my behalf. I see my face reflected in the glass of the kitchen cabinet, my brows furrowed in disapproval. That's weird. Why am I so mad? Okay then. I set out 3 plates and start serving dinner. I head out into the living room. Yeah, this isn't the best topic for dinner. I loudly smack the tray down in front of Tosaka. Why are you so mad, Shiro? Oh, is it because you wanted me to help serve the food? I'm not mad, I just thought you were trying to act aloof around people. I give her a sideways glance. Tosaka seems perplexed. I'm perplexed too. And then she gives me a chilling smile. We were just deciding on how our partnership is going to work. Don't worry, I'm not going to try to steal your saber. What the? I can tell I'm starting to blush. Just like I just pointed out why I was so annoyed. Why you? Oh, am I wrong? Then I apologize, Amiya. God, you say whatever the hell you want. I retreat to the kitchen to grab the rest of the dishes. Oh, she really got to me. Dosaka's still smiling, and Saber is as expressionless as ever. I'm starting to wonder whether I can survive this partnership. But we go ahead and start dinner. I'm giving her the silent treatment. After what happened earlier, I don't want to talk to Dosaka. I'm too embarrassed to even look at Saber. Saber eats in silence. Her movements are elegant. I can't believe she's the same girl who was swinging a sword earlier. I can't put a finger on it, but... Every time she takes a bite of something she hasn't eaten before, she nods. It's amusing. Seems to be a way of saying the food is good. Also, it turns out she can use chopsticks properly. Just like on the other hand. The moment she takes her first bite, she clenches her fist and says, "Alright, I can do better than this. Thanks." Just you wait and see tomorrow, Shiro Amiya. Tosaka's fist trembles with excitement. Dear God. Have I done something bad? Okay, so about what you two were discussing earlier. The two raise their heads simultaneously. Wait. I'm already nervous with just one of them around, so having the two react in unison like that is torture. What were we discussing earlier? About what to do from now on? You two were talking about while I was cooking. About looking for the other masters. Yeah, that. I'm just wondering if you have a specific plan. There's nothing to do other than take it slow and steady. Oh, by the way, can you at least sense other mages? It'd make things a lot easier if you could. I can't. I didn't know you were a mage, and we've been going to the same school for 2 years. I knew it. Well, that's fine. I'm sure the others are concealing their presence anyway, so searching for them that way wasn't the best option. What did you say, Bra? Your servants can detect other servants? I can somewhat. However, that is only if they are using their abilities nearby. In my case, I can only detect other servants in about a 200-meter radius. I see. Then we really do need to just wait and see if someone makes a move, or to look for some place that seems odd to us. A master would leave some traces or hints behind when they make a move, so we'll have to search for those. Are you saying we need to search all over town? No, we really shouldn't do that. Our opponents have probably set up some sort of net too, so they'll know right away we are masters if we do something like that. For now, we should hold off on taking initiative until we've figured out a plan. Just live your life the way you always have, and don't let them discover that you're a master. Hide the command spell in your hand so they can't see it. Okay. Guess I can start wearing gloves. It's winter. No one should really notice that. Try not to go anywhere. There aren't plenty of people around. Head home as soon as sun sets. And, what else? Please take your servant with you wherever you go outside of the house. Can Archer act as your escort and guard you, Ren? I think he can do that. It shouldn't be a problem for me because I'll have him be in spirit form on standby. The problem is... my master. Exactly. Hey, are you even listening, Shiro? Take Saber with you everywhere you go. We have decided not to draw attention, but there could still be some idiot who might attack us in broad daylight. Like, yeah, but if I take her everywhere I go suddenly, like if I'm suddenly always with this woman that's no one's ever seen me with before, all the time, like that in and of itself is a bit suspicious, isn't it? Have Saber with you in case that happens. Alright, I'll try. My response is pretty half-hearted. I understand why Tosaka would say that, but I hesitated at the idea of taking Saber everywhere. I'm already nervous talking to Tosaka, but Saber makes me even more nervous. Actually, nervous might not be the right word. I'm just bad at talking to Saber. What is it? Nothing. Hey, do you want a second helping? Hand me your bowl. No, I'm fine. It was very good, Shiro. If it was good, you'd want more. Gosh. I've read my gaze without meaning to. If I can't even look her in the eye right now, who knows how I'm going to feel or what I'll do if we're going to eat together all the time. But this might be hard. Saber can't turn into her spirit form, so she can't follow you to school. I mean, unless she enrolls, I guess. School? Are you a student, Shiro? Yeah, I am. Oh, right. Saber can't go to school because she's not a student. I guess I'll just have to have her stay at home while I'm in school. Oh well. Can't be helped. Is it possible for you to not go to school, Shiro? Well, I mean, I physically could, but I'd basically be nuking my life, so... I can't do that! I should live my life like normal, so I need to go to school. Besides, school's safe. There's not a lot of places with so many people. But... he'll be okay, Saber. I'll be there too, so I'll back him up if something happens. And I keep saying nothing will happen. Understood. If Master says so, I will oblige. Saber doesn't look convinced, but she still nods in agreement. Night falls. Tosaka looks like she prepared herself a bath while I was cleaning up after dinner. Honestly, she's acting like she owns this place right from the start. I'll need to make clear who's boss around here, or things are going to be real tough for me in the future. Easier said than done. I get the sense... I get the sense seizing the initiative is going to be really hard. Speaking of difficulties, there's another person who will be the source of my headaches. Actually, Saber's probably my biggest obstacle. Tosaka can be reasoned with, but Saber seems completely impossible to convince no matter what. Saber. I know she's not a bad person, but... Saber's back in her room. Tosaka's probably back in her own room in the detached area of the house. I'm the only one in the living room. There's still time before bedtime, so I should probably talk to Saber a bit more. Honestly, I'll need to overcome my awkwardness around her, or else I'm going to suffer for it. Whether she's a servant or not, she's still a girl, and younger than me. I'm sure I could learn a lot about her if we talked. Plus, I'll need to get used to her, or Tosaka's never going to stop looking down on me. And that's a problem. I don't want that, so I should work on talking to her more casually. I go back to my own room. The room next to mine, separated by a single sliding door, is Saber's room. Saber, are you awake? I am. Is something the matter, Master? Saber slides the door open. I try to get the hammering of my heart under control as she comes near. Calm down. I'm only going to talk to her as a master. Shiro, you do not look well. Has your wound opened up? No, that's not it. I'm feeling all better. Actually, how are you doing? I'm fine. It may take some more time to completely heal in my current state, but I'm still well above average. I should be evenly matched in a battle, so long as it's not against Berserker. I don't sense any pretension from her. She's simply stating the truth. I don't have any response to give. Saber's words may be encouraging to a master, but I still don't want a delicate-looking girl like her to fight. I'd ask you something. Don't you have any goals other than fighting? Since you're here in the modern world, aren't there things you'd like to do? Other goals? There's nothing else. Servants are summoned to fight. That is all. Anything else is futile. You have raised an irrelevancy. I figured. I'm trying to tell someone not to fight when it's their only reason for being here. It's not that I wanted to tell her that, but it's just that Saber lacks humanity. That might be enough if fighting is all she's going to do, but she is right in front of me, looking like an actual human being. So it doesn't feel right for her to just fight. If Saber's going to be here, she should at least do something she enjoys, or it all seemed like it was in vain. Hey, Saber, servants are supposed to hear her experience from the past, right? Then, I'd been about to ask her what she was like before she became who she is now, but I stopped myself. I cannot tell you my true name. During the day, Saber said that was going to be a secret between the two of us. So I wouldn't be surprised if Saber refused to tell me anything about her past. Shiro, it is not polite to stop mid-sentence. If the question is important enough, I will answer it. No, forget about it. I was just about to ask a dumb question. I averted my eyes to try to change the topic. It really was a stupid question. I thought I wasn't interested in Saber's identity, and Saber's been refusing to tell me because it's not safe. Bringing up something like this would just prove I'm a bad master dwelling on unimportant stuff. But what else can I talk to her about then? If I can't ask anything on Saber, the only other topics left would be me? That'd be even more pointless. I'm grasping at straws here. If I can't ask her about her identity, I'll just have to ask her about what Saber likes and what she wants to eat for breakfast tomorrow. I don't care if she's going to look at me funny. I'm ready to ask her the futile questions I want. Shiro, if you do not have any questions, may I ask you something? Yeah, sure. What is it? It's about last night. You were wounded trying to save me from Berserker's attack. Do you remember that? I do, but what? Are you going to keep belittling me like you had this morning? I get that it was a rash decision on my part, so don't remind me. It makes me feel sick. I feel the same way, but there was something I would like to ask you to help me understand you better as a person. Shiro, why did you try to go up against Berserker? Did you not know what would happen if you got close? Well, of course I knew. I knew getting near that thing would definitely be the end of me. Still, I tried to save Saber, not out of some foolishly optimistic belief I could. I just tried to save her. I didn't care about what would happen afterward. Saving Saber was my top priority in that moment. If anything, the fear of not being able to save Saber was greater than my fear of being killed. Sorry, I forgot why. It all happened so fast, so I don't really remember what I was thinking at the time. I was probably just rattled. Otherwise, I wouldn't have made such a suicidal move. Rather than tell her the truth, I'd just say something to try to get myself out of the situation. I probably did it because of how seriously Saber was looking at me. So you did it unwittingly? It wasn't unwitting. I told you I was rattled. If something like that happened again, I'm sure I would just be quaking. You may be right. That is a normal human response. No human would throw away their own life to try to save others. Well, I mean, it happens. Even those who are later called heroes are no exception. Which is why, should I encounter such a person, I know they are lacking something. If that person continued to carry on in that fashion, the only thing awaiting them would be tragedy. Interesting way of looking at that, for sure. Her deep green eyes are trying to tell me something. And yet... Cut it out, Saber. I told you, I was just frazzled. I'm scared to die too, so it's not like I can act like a saint. If something like that happened again, I'm going to prioritize myself over you. I tried to mask my anxiety by just spatting a bunch of heartless crap. That is a relief. If this was all a misunderstanding on my part, then there should not be an issue. Yes, you are a coward. As long as you do not choose to follow the wrong path, you should become a proper mage. Hey, do I really look like a coward to you? Yes, very much so. Especially when you try your hardest to accept the situation in which you are placed. Do you not know that such prudence is sometimes called cowardice? It is no different than saying that one who does not know fear can never become a wise man. She seems relieved. Saber even smiles as she says this. She smiles while she's roasting me, calling me a coward. Must be because of how lovely and elegant everything she does is. I can't think of anything else to say, so Saber and I spend the rest of our time alone in my bland room. And then night falls. I did not talk to Saber or Tasaka in the other room, and nothing much happened until it was bedtime. It's 11 now. The lights in the house are off, and everyone inside goes to sleep to prepare for the upcoming day. I can't sleep. I'm still lying on my side, eyes wide open. This is my room. I should be sleeping, but it feels completely different now. Damn, why can't I? It's quiet, but I hear Saber's breathing in the next room. I know. Of course I can hear the sound come from the next room if it's quiet. And since I can hear her breathing, I find myself imagining Saber's sleeping form. Damn it, how the hell can I fall asleep in this situation? I can't just stay in this whole bed of needles situation forever. I sneak out of my futon, trying not to wake Saber up. Thank goodness. I thought Saber noticed, but I guess not. Unless she's a deep sleeper. I question whether she can really protect her master this way, but there's no immediate danger. If servants are linked to masters, she would probably wake up immediately if her master is in danger. Tasaka seems to be asleep. Lights in the detached building are out. She's either just that defiant, or maybe she's naturally adaptable. Because Tasaka managed to blend in here in just a day. Well, honestly, it does help having her around. Yep, she's a handful, but she is helpful. One bit of evidence of that is the bandage wrapped around my hand. Had my command cells, huh? No, never would have thought to do that if it hadn't been pointed out. The command spells masters bear appear somewhere on their arm. Mine appeared on the back of my left hand. Clothes wouldn't work to hide it, so I'll need to use bandages, even if it looks a bit awkward. It's wintertime, so I'll wear some long sleeves to hide it. Tasaka has hers on the opposite hand from mine, around the middle of her right hand or somewhere around there. The shape of the command spells differ for each master, and I don't think I'll ever see Tasaka's command spell. Oh, for sure. She'd be too embarrassed that she was already used some. Silence falls over the shed. This is where Lancer cornered me yesterday, and where Saber appeared. The entrance is still open, and it's pitch dark inside, as if to repel anyone who might try to enter. But this darkness is familiar to me. I used to play here when I was young, and I feel it to be my real room. It sits silent under the wintry night sky. I step inside. After closing the door, to shut out the cold, I turn on the stove. Thought I would take a break today, but I shouldn't. The old man would be rolling in his grave if he knew I skipped my training 2 days in a row. I sit down in the middle of the shed and take a deep breath. I should train it. No pauses. MageCraft is a mental discipline to me, so I shouldn't skimp on my training for no good reason. Breathe in. I begin my training by getting my breathing under control. The usual image pops into my head. The image of a sword drifts into my empty mind. I try to ignore it and clear my head. As soon as magical energy runs through my body, I begin my usual training. My strengthening magecraft succeeded for the first time in years when I was attacked by Lancer last night. I need to recreate that same feeling before I forget, or else it'll have been for nothing. Trace on. I close my eyes halfway and release the air from my lungs. That's all I can do for now. As I concentrate, everything fades away. The Holy Grail War, Saber, Tasaka. If I allow my thoughts to slide into nothingness, any immature hesitations will fall away, and I'll finally get a good night's sleep. Alright, save the game. Oops. Yep. There we go. Alright, going into February 4th. However, that is where we're ending for today. Thank you guys for watching. Hope you enjoyed it. As for the schedule for next week, only 2 streams planned for next week. Wednesday, 10 p.m., Danganronpa 2. Thursday, 10 p.m., MEO, The Smiling Man. So no Fate Stay Night for next week, maybe week after. We'll see. For those of you who don't know, I'm in the process of moving right now, so don't have quite as much time that I can stream for. So that would be why. But we'll be back, hopefully sooner rather than later. But anyways, guys, until next time, I've been CMeeCraft, and I'll catch you in the next stream and or video. Goodbye.